and I spent a lot of my time at the public library. It was one of the few places my mother would let me go on my own. And I actually wrote poetry and short stories before I started writing songs. So, and I think it wasn't, I never had made this conscious decision, no, now I'm going to write songs.
Contrary to the opinions of others, I don't think I'm cool at all. I definitely didn't grow up thinking I was cool. I was popular, but not because I was cool. Probably because I had a certain amount of independence.
Truthfully, the record company was strongly urging me to consider it. But I just, I feel like there's already so much to do, you know, just in going through life.
Y'all ever wonder why Tracy Chapman and Lauryn Hill suddenly disappeared from the spotlight? These queens were ruling the charts 1 minute, then poof, gone the next. It's like they saw something they weren't supposed to see, and Hollywood hit the mute button on their careers. But what if it wasn't just bad luck or burnout? What if these powerhouse singers knew too much about the dark side of the music biz and got shut down for trying to speak up? Stick around, because we're about to spill some tea that'll have you looking at your playlist real different.
Whose father's in the music business would come to some of my concerts and had seen me play at various places. He offered to help me make a demo tape. And the short story is that they did offer me a production deal, which then led to the record contract.
It seemed like overnight that Tracy Chapman went from singing on the streets of Harvard Square to winning 3 Grammy Awards in 1989. Her debut album sold more than 10 million copies. Critics have called her one of the most socially relevant songwriters of our time after a couple of years of laying low.
Tracy Chapman started out playing guitar on the streets of Cambridge, Massachusetts. Can you believe it? This queen was busking for spare change before she became a Grammy-winning superstar. Her raw talent caught the eye of some big-shot music exec at a coffee shop, and next thing you know, she's signing a record deal. But don't think it was all smooth sailing from there.
It was like a complete blessing that there were people, not only in New York, Manhattan, Brooklyn, the Bronx, New Jersey, who appreciated our music, but people out here in Amsterdam, you know, people in New Zealand, and Australia, and Africa were buying records from the Fugees.
Now, Lauryn Hill had a different path. She started out with the Fugees, making waves with their unique sound. These ladies were on fire, breaking records and winning hearts all over the world. Tracy's Fast Car and Lauryn's Doo-Wop, that thing, blew up and took them to a whole new level of fame. But behind those million-dollar smiles and chart-topping hits, something dark was lurking. Tracy was feeling the pressure to change her image to be more marketable. And Lauryn? Well, the music industry ain't always kind of strong. Black women who speak their minds. Y'all better buckle up, because what happens next is going to leave you shook. Hold up, y'all thought Tracy Chapman and Lauryn Hill were just living it up in the spotlight? Nah, they were seeing the dark side up close and personal. We're talking pressure to change everything about themselves, rumors flying left and right, and some real sketchy characters pulling strings behind the scenes. When our girls started asking questions, that's when things got real messy, real quick.
I don't even think that folk singer is really relevant either. There were all these people who were trying to tie me to, you know, the 60s and 70s folk singers. And I like a lot of that music.
The two stars started hearing some real nasty rumors about what was going down in the industry. We're talking all kinds of stuff that'll make your skin crawl, but of course, they kept on asking questions. And as you'd expect, the top music execs didn't like that one bit. Suddenly, Tracy and Lauryn were getting side eyes from the same people who used to kiss their feet. Tracy was realizing that the industry didn't know what to do with a strong black woman who didn't fit into their little R&B box. She even said, "I think they do a disservice to their audience by only presenting certain types of music." Preach, Tracy.
A lot of people blame me for what has become of Lauryn Hill. And the fact that she's not out and about in the music industry. If you've read this far, you have to understand she and I had a very complicated relationship, and I take my blame, I'll take my blame for my side of the pain and confusion. No doubt my marriage hurt her, but the fact that she more or less left music behind can't be explained that simply.
Y'all, it wasn't long before things took a wild turn for the ladies. 1 minute. Tracy and Lauryn were the golden girls of the industry. The next, radio silence. Their phones stopped ringing, and suddenly all those big shot execs who used to blow up their lines were ghosting them faster than a bad Tinder date. But that was just the beginning. Tracy's new album? Delayed. Lauryn's big comeback tour? Canceled. And don't even get me started on the creative differences excuse. It was like the whole industry decided to play dirty, and our girls were caught in the crossfire.
He talked about how him and Lauryn Hill kind of had there was like a love triangle. It was him, his wife, Lauryn Hill.
Okay.
And he mentioned that Lauryn Hill got pregnant.
Okay.
Did you know about all this happening?
Man, I was counting my money, man, to be honest with you.
It wasn't just the industry, it was the media. Too, they started painting Tracy and Lauryn as difficult and unstable. Talk about a proper backstab. And that's not all. Lauryn's situation was especially messy. Word on the street was that Columbia Records dropped a cool $2.5 million on her sophomore album, but things just kept getting weird. Lauryn kept pushing back studio sessions, and people started getting frustrated. Before you knew it, collaborators were dropping like flies, and Tracy? They did her dirty, too. She went from selling out shows to barely being seen in public. Her last big performance before 2024? Way back in 2009.
You guys are still close. Did she tell you why she stopped making albums?
She just felt uninspired.
That's it.
That's it.
We gotta rewind a bit to really understand what went down with Lauryn Hill, the Fugees drama. It's the key to this whole mess. Lauryn and Wyclef Jean had this crazy, complicated thing going on. It wasn't just about the music. There was a whole lot of love, jealousy, and straight-up mess involved. See, Wyclef and Lauryn were more than just groupmates. They had this intense on-again, off-again relationship that was messier than a toddler with finger paint.
She had also quit the Fugees, saying later the group was, quote, a conspiracy to control, to manipulate, and to encourage dependence.
And the biggest plot twist? Wyclef was married the whole time. Can you imagine the drama that caused behind the scenes? It was like a soap opera, but with platinum records, but it wasn't just about the love triangle. There were some serious power struggles going on in the Fugees.
And I take it you're not someone who, particularly enjoys being out in the public eye apart from your music.
Yeah, I'm not much drawn to the limelight.
We don't see you in the tabloids, for example.
I hope not. That's a doppelganger if you do see one. It was also kind of stressful for a person who likes to be pretty private, and
But standing up for herself came with a price. Tracy refused to play the celebrity game, and the industry didn't like that one bit. She tried to keep making music her way, dropping her second album, Crossroads, but it didn't blow up as much as her first one. The industry folks started whispering that maybe Tracy was losing her touch. But we know better, don't we?
I had an opportunity then to make the second and the third record, which in some people's minds didn't do as well as the first record. And, I just felt like I wanted to do something other than...
Then Tracy tried something different with her album Matters of the Heart. She went for more of an alternative rock sound, and a lot of her fans weren't feeling it. The charts weren't too kind either. But here's the thing, was it really about the music, or was the industry trying to teach her a lesson for not playing by their rules? Every time Tracy tried to release new music, it seemed like there were all these mysterious roadblocks, albums getting delayed, tours getting canceled. Sound familiar? It's like deja vu from what happened to Lauryn. All those industry experts who used to be falling all over themselves to work with Tracy suddenly couldn't find the time. It's like they all got the same memo. Hands off Tracy Chapman. But our girl Tracy didn't back down. She kept making music her way, even if it meant fewer albums and smaller shows. In one of her rare interviews, she said she has an understanding of the fact that the music she's making doesn't fit their format, and they're not willing to make a place for her. Can you believe she had to explain herself like that? She stood up for what she believed in, but at what cost? Was it worth it? Y'all remember when Lauryn dropped The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill? That album was straight fire, selling over 400,000 copies in its first week. Everyone thought she was going to rule the music world forever. But then things got weird real quick. People were suing her left and right, saying she didn't give them credit for helping with her album. And then the rumors started flying about her having some kind of breakdown. Intriguing videos where we expose the mess lurking in the shadows of Hollywood.
Miseducation shot to #1 on the Billboard chart and earned 5 Grammys, including Album of the Year.
How long is it going to take for this to sink in?
I don't know yet, but I'll let you know.
Hill disappeared from public view after the Grammys.
With brother Anthony, some people say he was Lauryn's spiritual advisor, but others were calling him a straight-up cult leader. Word is he made Lauryn cut ties with pretty much everyone in her life. Her management, her friends, even her family. It's like he pulled her away from the music world and into some kind of isolation.
These are brand new songs that very few people have heard. Very much about, what I've been going through and what I've been learning. A lot of wonderful life lessons. Talk people in my head too. It's all right though. Let's just warm up a little bit. Finish sucking my lozenge. And this particular song is called Mr. Intentional.
And let's talk about those shows she did manage to put on. Girl was always late, sometimes by hours. Fans would be waiting forever, and when she finally showed up, the performances were hit or miss. People were calling her a diva, saying she didn't care about her fans. She tried to explain herself in 2016, saying they don't show up late for shows because they don't care. Rather, the challenge lies in aligning their energy with the time. Now, that might sound like some new age nonsense to some of y'all, but what if she was really struggling with something deeper?
Named Brother Anthony came into her life. Brother Anthony was a spiritual guide to Lauryn, and she spent several hours at his feet ingesting pure scripture. Some of Lauryn's closest friends, however, were not too fond of Lauryn's new companion.
Tracy Chapman and Lauryn Hill might have stepped back, but their impact? It's louder than ever. And y'all, the tea is hot on how they're still changing the game. You might think Tracy and Lauryn are old news, but their influence is everywhere. New artists are picking up right where these queens left off, taking that same fearless energy and running with it. It's like they passed the torch, and now a whole new generation is lighting up the industry.
Say, yeah, she's late. She's late to late. Yo, y'all lucky I make it on this blood rise stage every night.
And yep, people can't get enough of their old music. It's like everyone suddenly remembered how fire Tracy and Lauryn's tracks were. New fans are discovering them for the first time, and old fans are falling in love all over again. It's a whole revival, y'all. And when Tracy and Lauryn do show up, it's like the whole world stops. Lauryn's been out there celebrating the 25th anniversary of the miseducation of Lauryn Hill, and fans are losing their minds. They're selling out shows left and right, even with all the drama about Lauryn being late.
Music is very powerful, and it does have the ability to inspire people, to motivate people, to educate people. For all those reasons, it can be used in a social or a political context.
It's clear as day that Tracy and Lauryn are still sending a message, even when they're not saying a word. Their music is still out there, still hitting hard. Tracy's songs are getting covered by all kinds of artists, from Sam Smith to Justin Bieber. And Lauryn? Her lyrics are still making people think, still challenging the status quo.
Lauryn Hill will be embarking on her 25th anniversary tour for her debut solo album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Okay, and not just that, the Fugees will be reuniting and opening up for the U.S. dates of this show.
One thing's for sure. Tracy Chapman and Lauryn Hill left their mark on the music world, and it ain't going away anytime soon. They showed us what it means to be true to yourself, to speak your mind, and to make music that matters. And that lesson? It's still ringing out loud and clear, even all these years later.
I gotta take it to anywhere. Maybe we can make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. You got a fast car. I wanna take it to anywhere. Maybe we can make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better.
Y'all, we've been on a wild ride through the dark side of fame with Tracy Chapman and Lauryn Hill. These queens saw things in the music biz that would make your hair stand on end. But their stories ain't just ancient history. They're a reminder that behind all the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, there's some seriously shady stuff going down.
That we should constantly be aspiring, to reach higher and higher and higher. We should never be comfortable where we are. We should always be aspiring to know more and to better ourselves and to improve ourselves.
So, what's the lesson here? Don't believe everything you see on those fancy award shows. The music industry's got more secrets than your messiest group chat. Did you like this video? Stay tuned for more intriguing videos where we expose the mess lurking in the shadows of Hollywood.